It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was up.
Alright, let's talk about P Diddy, music mogul, fashion icon, party king. This guy has been at the top of the game for decades. But here's the kicker. Beneath the shiny suits and the party vibes, there's something way darker going on. What if I told you that the headlines you've been seeing, guns, secret tapes, even trafficking allegations, are just scratching the surface? Yeah, it's that deep. Think about it. This is the same guy who gave us hit after hit, built an empire from nothing, and became one of the most influential figures in the music industry. But what if there's more to the story?
And so I would say the mindset that you have to have, you definitely have to be a little crazy. Your faith and your belief has to be crazy. You have to see what's not there and manifest it to be in there. But the mindset is that I was a dreamer. I started this whole thing as a dream. And then the day that I turned into the combination of a dreamer and a realist, that's when I started to really go.
What if that rise to the top wasn't as clean as we thought? The deeper you go, the more you start to see that Diddy's empire might have been built on something much darker than just talent.
Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity.
I know what you're thinking. Isn't this the guy who had us dancing to Bad Boy for Life? But let's be real, things don't always happen by accident in the industry. Diddy's rise wasn't just about talent, it was about control. He wanted to reach the top, to be the best, and to dominate.
I got my MTV out. Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want!
Behind every power move, every hit single, there's a story. And this story? It's darker than you think. What if Diddy's entire empire is built on fear, manipulation, and secrets that no one's been brave enough to expose? The truth is just starting to surface, and it's going to shake things up.
Bible describes evil people being in high places like Puff Daddy. Evil don't exist down here. It exists up here. It lurks down here, but it exists up here. And where all of us down here trying to go? Up there with evil?
Right.
Almost everything up here is evil. Jay-Z, Tyler Perry, you can't get up here if you ain't evil, my niggas. It's a glass ceiling for those that's not evil. You can only go that high if you evil.
Let's take it back. Diddy didn't just build a music empire. He built a fortress. And it wasn't all just about the beats. His inner circle? It was more like a mafia. Cross him, and you're out. People whispered about how you didn't want to be on his bad side. Some folks disappeared from the scene altogether after crossing him. But no one dared to speak out, because, let's face it, Diddy's reach was just that powerful. Let's be real, those parties weren't just legendary for no reason. Insiders say they were cover-ups for way darker stuff. Yeah, they looked glamorous, but behind the scenes, people were being controlled, manipulated, and forced to play along. Or else, what's coming out now? It's way more twisted than we ever thought.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P Diddy party, this is what happens to the white man.
It's so unfortunate.
You gotta pull back though, so they can see.
Now, let's talk about the raid that shook everything up. AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, found in Diddy's mansion? Yeah, that wasn't just about personal safety. This was something bigger, something far darker. Word is, Diddy wasn't stockpiling weapons just for show. Some say those guns were tied to an underground operation with some big industry players. And the more you dig, the messy it gets. We're talking deep, dark connections that go way beyond just music. It's not just about the guns though. His inner circle? They've been covering for him for years. Bodyguards, assistants, all making sure nothing ever came back to him. But now, people are starting to talk. Slowly but surely, cracks are forming, and the big question is, was Diddy just protecting his empire? Or was he involved in something way more dangerous? So here's where things get even wilder. Diddy didn't just stop at making hits, he was also allegedly making tapes. And no, not the kind that go platinum. I'm talking about secret tapes.
The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million.
Rumor has it, Diddy used compromising footage to keep people in check. He wasn't just playing the music game, he was playing everyone around him. And get this, these tapes? They weren't just used to blackmail artists. Producers, execs, even rival moguls. No one was safe from Diddy's reach. The deeper you dig, the more it sounds like Diddy's empire was built on leverage and fear. That's how he stayed on top.
But who knows?
They said Diddy gangster, man.
Diddy gangster.
So he put hands on a few people.
I mean, that because they allowed him or something like that. Like, come on. I mean, he probably can't fight. But he picks on chumps. He smacked Drake, didn't he?
That's what I heard, yeah.
Like Drake, you smacked Drake.
It's like Diddy was playing chess, while everyone else was just trying to survive. Every move, every decision, calculated. And if you weren't on board, well, there was a tape for that. Now, years later, some of those old tapes are starting to resurface. People are talking, and when those tapes drop, a lot of folks in the industry could be in serious trouble. This isn't just gossip, this could shake the whole game. Let's talk about those freak-off parties. You've probably seen the photos. Diddy hosting the wildest, most exclusive events with the biggest names in the game. But here's the kicker. Behind the glamour, some sketchy stuff was going down.
But we can save it for another time, though.
Hit us one more exclusive, man.
One more exclusive?
Yeah.
Man, all these folks be having freak-off parties, man. I've been to at least 2 T.I. freak-off parties, and we left because it was too freaking off. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we don't want to be around these motherfuckers. Motherfuckers walk around in silk pajamas and
Insiders are now saying those parties weren't just for fun. Some say they were cover-ups for way more sinister dealings. And guess what? Some of the same people from those parties are now involved in the latest trafficking allegations against Diddy. Think about it. These events were legendary, but at what cost? Who knew what was really happening behind closed doors? The guest list wasn't just a who's who of music. It was a who's who of people keeping quiet. And the truth is just starting to come to light. And now, with these trafficking allegations coming to light, those parties are getting a lot more attention. What was really happening when the cameras weren't rolling? And who's going to get caught in the fallout? The clock is ticking, and it looks like we're about to find out. And here we are, the trafficking allegations. This isn't just some tabloid story. These are real accusations that could take down one of the biggest names in the music industry.
You know him as Diddy, formerly Puff Daddy, big-time rapper, big-time producer, big-time superstar, and now the feds at his houses in both locations.
Diddy's not just facing lawsuits. This could be the end of his entire empire. And the more we hear, the worse it gets. Investigators are now pulling threads that lead back years. There are reports that some of Diddy's closest associates knew what was happening but stayed silent to protect their own careers. But now, people are talking. The truth is starting to bubble to the surface, and the more that's revealed, the more damning it becomes. The real question is, how much did Diddy know? And more importantly, how many people in the music industry turned a blind eye to this? The fallout from these allegations isn't just going to hit Diddy. It's going to ripple through the entire entertainment world. We're talking about a complete shakeup.
When they get down to all the facts and all what happened, he may belong in jail, bro. And that's not my doing. That's not Cassie doing. That's his doing and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him.
Diddy's empire is crumbling. The lawsuits are piling up, the accusations are coming fast, and people are wondering, will he be the next big figure to fall? One thing's for sure, the music industry is about to change forever. This isn't just the end of an era. It could be the beginning of a whole new chapter for the industry. And now, the inner circle is crumbling. Diddy's closest allies, the ones who've stayed silent for years, are starting to crack under pressure. Some are facing their own lawsuits, and others? Well, they're speaking out, trying to save themselves. The once loyal inner circle is starting to fracture, and it's not looking good. At this point, it's like a domino effect. One person speaks, and suddenly everyone else is scrambling to get their story straight. But here's the kicker. Some of these people aren't just minor players. We're talking about big names who've been part of Diddy's rise from day one. People who helped build his empire, and now they're trying to save themselves before it all comes crashing down.
In Richard, he couldn't write it in Macbeth. He couldn't write this shit in homie Romeo and Juliet. This is gonna be one of the greatest tragedies of hip-hop, along with Pac's death, along with Big's death. And he brought it on himself because he knew that he was wrong, and he knew that he learned.
It's almost like watching the end of a mob movie. You know, the part where everyone starts flipping to avoid jail time. And now, Diddy? He's at the center of it all, trying to hold his empire together as it slowly falls apart. The people who once had his back are now watching out for themselves. But the real question is, who's going to be the next one to talk? And what happens when the final piece of the puzzle falls into place? The walls are closing in, and everyone is looking for an escape route. The cracks are turning into full-blown fractures. Let's be real. This whole scandal? It's a media frenzy. Every outlet is trying to get the latest scoop, and Diddy's name is trending every day. And with every new headline, the story gets messy. It's like watching a slow-motion car crash. You can't look away. Every time you think it's over, something new comes out. The internet is having a field day. I mean, it's not every day you see a music mogul who's been on top for decades facing this level of scrutiny. The memes, the hot takes, the conspiracy theories, everyone's got something to say. And while Diddy's camp is staying tight-lipped, the rest of the world, we're glued to our screens, waiting for the next bombshell to drop. Everyone's talking. YouTubers, podcasters, bloggers. It's like the entire internet has turned into detectives, trying to figure out just how deep this goes. And let's be honest, with this much chaos, it's impossible to look away. Every day, it seems like another piece of the puzzle is revealed, and we're all left wondering, what's next? Well, this psychic has some ideas on what's to come.
Old guys connected to old-time, old-style Motown. And she's showing me that he's being shut up from outing them or from speaking about them for some reason. So there's a hierarchy going on here, and there's a total takedown of him. He is being sacrificed. So he may think he gets away with stuff. He may think it's cool he does what he does, but now he's the sacrifice.
But with all this media attention, there's still one big question that no one can answer. Is this the end for Diddy, or is there one last move he hasn't played yet? In the game of fame and power, it's not over until the final piece falls. And something tells me this story is far from finished. So, here we are. Diddy's empire, built on hits and hustles, now hanging by a thread. The lawsuits, the allegations, the scandals, it's all catching up to him. And what happens next? Well, that's the real cliffhanger, isn't it? Is this really the end? Or does Diddy have one more move up his sleeve? The music industry's been shook before, but this could change everything. If Diddy falls, who else is going down with him? And how many more secrets are waiting to be uncovered? We're not just talking about one man here. This could take down an entire system that's been running the industry for years. One thing's for sure. The Diddy we thought we knew, he might never be the same again. This could be the end of an era. Or, knowing Diddy, it could just be the beginning of another chapter. Either way, we're all watching, waiting for what happens next. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had asked God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Watch our Nikocado avocado video. Now he's 2 steps ahead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into the biggest names in the game.
Now y'all believe the video, right?